Hi guys. Um,
Wow!
what's
Woo!
up? How's everyone doing today?
It is rainy outside, Jack.
I know, I love it.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so right where the logo is up here in the top corner,
Uh,
it's
Oh,
covering up an actual Kyber Cave, like glowing sign.
that's really funny.
Hey!
Yay!
Don't, the boy
What's
wonder gets all the cool stuff.
yeah, 2K21 God says, hey, what's up, man? I don't know who that
What's
is, but
up?
hey,
Oh,
what's up?
hey, what's up, my man?
What's
We
up? How
need
you
to talk. I
doing?
miss you, bro.
Yeah.
Um, I am excited. I'm excited for your new show. This week for anybody who is going to be who's a regular of our Sunday night show, Saber Rattle.
Mm-hmm.
Our fantastic guest is going to be the captain herself. She is going to be talking.
Yay!
We know one person's excited.
Yeah, I will be on Saber Rattle. It will be the ladies hosting Saber Rattle on Sunday night.
That's well. Oh wait, are you hosting? I thought you were the guest.
I mean, I am the guest, but I will
Yeah,
probably be, up there.
I
Like,
was gonna
I
say
just mean
because
like Mets. I
graveyard.
just mean like Mets is gonna be there. I thought
Yeah,
next
Mez
week.
is gonna be there, and graveyard's gonna be there.
Oh, well, Dampy's there. Well, then it's not just the ladies. Sorry, I was uninformed. But anyways, I will be there as a guest. I will be chatting it up. Oh, 2K21 says, "How have you guys been? We have been great,
We
actually.
have been
Been great.
great, and I miss seeing your name on the board, my man. How are
Yeah.
you doing at Armio? He's at the same school my son is, but
Oh, that's awesome.
um,
So
so
yeah,
I'm very excited about your new show. Bez says that she thinks it's going to be up this week or next week, so you'll
next
get a
week, yeah.
chance to do your interview, and then next week people will get to see the brand new show on our channel. Very excited.
Yeah, we're so close to being done. We just have to get that final stretch, get the music in there, get the beginning uh the theme, the beginning opening done and completely edited, and then we're good. We're good to go.
This is
Yeah.
it's going to be a very different show than the stuff that you're used to here on the KCP channel. So we're excited about it. I think people are going to love it. It's going to be a brand new, fun thing. People are going to want to tune in. I think you got Friday nights, right?
Yes, I got Friday nights and it will be an upload, but that means we're filming while, you're watching the show. We'll be filming in the next or next installments,
Oh
so
wow!
it's basically like a production. It's like a series production. We're filming, then we edit everything, and then we upload. So we're trying to get a few of those already done and uploaded with all the music placements and everything else, just so we can have it to where it's like a real series, like a real TV series. But
I
it's just us role playing and having a good time and having
yeah.
some
You guys
fun
sometimes
as well.
it's difficult to realize how much behind the scene work has to happen for something. I mean, this show is
Yeah.
it's basically role playing, which a lot of us, if you've ever done D&D with your friends at home, you're going to be very familiar with the format of this. But to get it out on air, to make it work, and also because we're adapting a game written by Aubrey and one of her friends, it took a lot of work behind the scenes to make it happen. What does he say there? I
He
can't
says,
read.
"I'm sick right now." That's what he said.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're sick, homie.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's just we'll talk
I'll
about
have to
more
bring
on
you some soup.
Sunday. I just wanted to let you guys know it is a role playing show that is based off of a book that my friend and I have been working on for the last, good gosh, so many years. So it's just been a long time coming. I've been really involved with writing role playing books for a while, and this was the first real baby of mine. So of role playing, because I've been doing role playing for, gosh, since I was young, since I was a kid. So
I think
this is
on Kyber Cave Productions this year, you're going to be seeing a lot of the captain in different capacities. I mean, not only does she do the gaming shows, Saturday Morning Nerd Out, she's going to have her own brand new show. She is also going to be sponsored by Kyber Cave as a fighter out there beating up everybody with her glow stick.
I mean, I do real fighting tournaments, very different. Well, we'll talk about more about that on Sunday. So, but anyways, I'm really excited. We have a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to be in a lot of lot of also stuff that's not Kyber Cave related too. So
Woo-hoo.
let's get to what we're gonna do today.
Wait,
Talking about sickle cell anemia.
Yes.
wait.
But
What?
The air of Kyber?
well, she's going to be doing a lot of her shows on Kyber Cave, her own shows, and then in the real world, she's going to be, she's still got her karaoke and fighting, doing more competitions. And
What out there?
Well, and I'm also doing actor. I have a few acting. I have a play actually. It's we're starting rehearsals today
oh
for a
wow,
play that I'm in. Yeah, so I'm also have a few like film productions that I will be a part of this year. Oh yeah, I've got so much stuff going on. It is insane. So we are
excellent,
just gonna be. I'm just gonna be all over the place this year. So this will be great.
excellent. But
Maybe.
tonight,
But
let's
tonight
talk
we're gonna talk
about
about
our
sickle
topic
cell.
for the evening,
Yeah.
which is a pretty big topic in general. You want to pull up the definitions there?
Yeah, let me get that. Let me get that for you.
We are going to be talking about sickle cell anemia, which affects many people. I don't have statistics. I didn't pull up any quick facts because I'm
Oh,
using
that's
my
okay.
phone as my camera tonight. But
Yeah,
it
no
does
worries.
primarily affect people of African American descent. And I want to say it's like one of the Jewish tribes, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it'll. Well, I think I have some videos that will talk a little bit about where, like specifically, it turns out it's not just. It's anywhere, like it also affects people in the Caribbean. It affects people in South America. It's anywhere where there's a lot of jungle or a lot of like heat and humidity that like even in the marshes, it's anywhere there's a large population of mosquitoes because
Ah, is it the
any place
mosquito
where
borne disease?
no, it's actually a evolutionary trait that fights against malaria. It's a
Oh,
mutation. Yeah, so it's a inherited red blood cell disorders. The red blood cells become hard and sticky and look like C-shaped farm tools called a sickle. Just as a good way of stating what it is, at
right.
least in the most basic form. But it actually is a way that we fight, or people that are in those areas where malaria is highly prevalent. It has been something that's been passed down to combat malaria, which is really interesting. But if you take it out of malaria infested places, then it actually becomes a real detriment to the body.
Wow. That
Mhm.
makes sense because I know when I was doing when I was doing the research for this for the popular culture, there was several videos that seemed like they came from like Nigeria and
Mhm.
specifically African countries.
Yeah,
Um,
I had looked up or I had seen some movies that were based in that area.
right, right.
Uh,
Of course, this is a problem here in the United States, but if we're obviously not, there's no jungles in the United States. There's places with that have humidity,
mhm.
but the conditions are different for, especially for African Americans who might have, their ancestors come from actual Africa, but them
Yeah.
being here, the body no longer has the need for that trait.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
exactly. I am getting us some CDC quick facts here. So,
you want to roll one of the videos while you're
yeah,
grabbing some quick
let's
facts?
do that. Let's go and roll one of those videos. Sorry, everyone. I'm trying to do 5 things at once. Do you have any questions or you just want to comment and say hello to everyone? Please just put your comments in the comment section so we can
And
put
if
them
you
up.
have any
If
experience with
people,
sickle cell anemia yourself, please let us know about your experience.
yeah,
This is not something that I know anybody that has dealt with it. So I would love your commentary.
yeah. So let's look at. I am looking at some of these real quick. Give me 1 second. Try to see which one is. Oh, okay. There was not many videos put up here. All right. Let's.
You see, Kenny, I love you so much. And I really do. I don't think I've ever loved anyone like this in my life. I've been praying about this relationship thing, and your picture just keep coming to my mind. In fact, my dad even called me this morning, confirming that we are compatible, Kenny.
But my mom said we're not compatible.
Ah,
And I know that. We are both here. What if we give birth to SS? Think about it, Kola.
this thing is just probability. We can't give birth to Jesus. Let's trust God. Let's have faith in God.
She only believe me. I need to go on. Come on, go someone before.
No, now that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we should have faith in God. I'm not saying we should not obey our parents. Remember, if there's a man to pray and trust God, there's always a God to answer. In as much as we love each other.
When you start dealing with the harsh reality of the agony that is associated with sickle cell anemia disease, love will fly out of the window.
We applied faith too.
Faith? Well, we talked about love before. Now you also talked about faith. But you know that wisdom is profitable to direct. When you already knew the consequences of your actions, why would you go ahead and say that you applied faith? To me, that sounds like putting God to test. By the way, madam, where is Mr. Kolafijab himself? Because you should be fighting this battle together. You should be looking for solutions together. Where is he?
Doctor, he left when the pressure was much.
Okay, that was an interesting clip.
Now I realize that some of that was hard to maybe understand, so I wanted to decipher some of what happened. And also there were some other video clips in here in this little movie. It was like a 10-minute movie, but that showed the girl that was agonizing and suffering from the sickle cell. But the reason I pulled this one is it was talking about a whole different aspect that a lot of times I think people don't think about. But in this one, when you saw the couple, that's the mother of the child, and then the doctor's talking to the mother, right? And so the mother explains that when the husband and the mother got together, then they had the flashback where it was in black and white that was supposed to be them as teenagers. They both knew that they were carriers of the sickle cell, which meant that there was a very high likelihood that if they got together, that their child would have sickle cell anemia. So they were both carriers, but it didn't affect them. They didn't have, complications from it. Now, the husband was like, that's in God's hands. We'll leave it to fate. I love you so much. We should be together. But then when the daughter got it and things got too hard, the father bolted. So that was kind of why, I wanted to include that scene because, it was kind of him that talked her into it. Because at first she didn't want to be together as a couple because, she would want to get married and then she knew that she would have these issues. But he kept pushing it. And then when stuff got real, he was the one that walked out the door and left her with her sick daughter.
Okay, that was super convoluted and hard to explain. In any case, what Van I think is trying to say is that it's an inherited disease, because our series is about, blood genetic disorders. So this is part of that whole thing of this is something that's passed down. It's not something that you can get easily. So this is something that is really interesting. So I think I am going to give us some. So this says this disease affects millions of people worldwide and especially common among people who come from and whose ancestors come from the following regions, which are from the southern and middle Americas, the Africa, Madagascar, India, and parts of the Mediterranean.
Oh wow!
So this is
heavily forested places too. It sounds like
heavily. Yeah, anywhere where there is a huge population of mosquitoes, like I was saying.
Right.
And like you were saying, a child only inherits, so if a child has the disease, it's usually when they get two sickle cell genes from each parent. So it's only they can inherit the trait to get it, to be a carrier.
Right.
But if both parents have it, it's just like we were talking about with cystic fibrosis. If you have one parent that has it, you can get the gene to become a carrier. But if you have two parents who get it, usually it's a
Very
larger
high likeliness that you're going to have it.
that your child
Right.
will have it.
And that's what was happening in that scene there, which was, like I said, why I wanted to pull out, because I think a lot of times when we pull these videos and stuff, we focus a lot about the disease and how the disease affects the person or their mind or what have you, but we don't always talk about how it affects the family around them, the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the sisters that have to live with these people and help take care of them.
Right. And that was, by the way, that was from the National Institute of Health. That's some stuff from the CDC and also American Society of Hematology, which we used last week for the references for hemophilia.
Right.
So,
we also had another little video clip that didn't make, for some reason there was problems uploading it. It was cute. It was an animated video called The Park Bench. And it was very short. It was only like a 5-minute animated video. But what was interesting about it, I'm going to tell you a quick synopsis of the story and then tell you what was funny about it after I tell you the story. So the scene opens up and you see the father in a hospital bed and the mother's obviously worried and the child's looking in through the door and the door shuts. Come to find out the father has sickle cell anemia. And then it shows the little girl at home and she's just like sad. She doesn't know how to process her feelings. And then all of a sudden this duck comes into her life and starts playing games with her and cheering her up and letting her be the doctor fixing up the duck's wing. They become like best friends while her father's off in the hospital. And then one day the duck is looking out the window and sees a whole bunch of other ducks, like flying south for the winter. And you can see the longing in the duck's eyes to be with his buddies. And the little kid is understanding, okay, I have to let my friend go. But right at that moment, dad like pops in out of the hospital on his crutches and he's now home getting treatment for his sickle cell anemia. And then they release the duck and they have a big heartfelt moment. The duck flies away and that's the end of the story. So it was about the girl processing her feelings while her father was in the hospital. Now, I thought it was really strange that the animal that came and cheered her up was a duck. It was just a very kind of an odd fit. Come to find out, this was a short film produced by Affleck.
well, whatever way you have, some people you have support animals like myself right here, and some people have support ducks. That's just something that happens.
And some people love their insurance company.
Apparently so. I'm gonna talk. So I actually have a clip about a 13-year-old girl who's living with the disease. So I'm gonna show that, and then we'll get more into like what sickle cell anemia actually is and how it works and all that. So here we go.
My pain feels like a knife is stabbing me in and out. It can happen anywhere in my body, so it's kind of painful.
Tamaya needs regular blood transfusions to stay healthy.
I'm 13 years old and I have sickle cell anemia.
The genetic disease causes some of her red blood cells to be C-shaped instead of round. The sickled cells can also block blood flow, leading to a pain crisis.
It's the same kind of pain that people have when they have a heart attack.
Tamaya experiences pain crises every other month.
To watching her go from that energetic child to not moving at all, pale, not unresponsive sometimes because she's in so much pain, her hemoglobin levels drop, and she's not the Tamaya that I'm used to seeing and knowing.
To stop the pain crisis, Tamaya receives blood transfusions.
They are actually hooked up to a machine which removes their damaged cells and replaces the damaged cells with normal red blood cells.
I get blood transfusions to help me be a kid again, because without the blood transfusions, I would not be here right now. Like, I would be very miserable, sad, weak. And when I get the blood transfusion, I just feel stronger, happier. I can be for my family. I could just be me again, and it feels pretty great when I get blood transfusions.
But the blood she so desperately needs is not always available. Once, Tamaya said she was in the hospital for 8 or 10 hours before they were able to find blood that was a close match.
I was just like, Mom, we gotta do something. Just please let the doctor come in here and say we have my blood. It took like 8 hours, and I was just sitting there crying, bawling my eyes out. And as soon as the doctor came in and say we have the blood, I just started praising God and just crying and holding my mom's hand because it felt special that they found my blood.
That's like 10 whole hours of fear, hurt, pain, and there's nothing that you can do yourself. It hurts me as a parent.
Dr. Miller says that's why it's so important that people of all backgrounds and blood types donate blood.
Our blood supply needs to...
Wow.
Yeah, just her pain and how, like, we'll get more into like how that works and like there's the symptoms of it.
I think I had one more popular clip that may be on there, but I know in a lot of these videos when they show somebody having pain, they make it look like, especially in their stomach, like I always see them like holding their abdomen, but she had described it as a sharp pain, like somebody was stabbing you.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like trigger warning, by the way, because of pain with children. But
right, and I was gonna say, so the blood transfusion, that's dialysis, right? She has to get dialysis every couple of days, or is that different?
Dialysis is different.
Okay.
Because dialysis, what they're doing is they are cleaning your blood.
Right.
A transfusion is where they're replacing your blood cells.
Replacing the blood. Wow.
Yeah. So with a dialysis, when you have something like diabetes or your kidney failure, what they do is they hook you up to a machine and they run your blood in through the machine, which cleans it out, and then it comes back into your body. It's just the same.
So it's your own blood when you're doing dialysis, but for her, she's getting new blood each time.
Yes.
Wow.
So she's getting new blood to replace the sickle cell anemia. Yeah. To replace it. Oh, we got another comment.
That poor girl.
Met says, hello, beautiful people. Hello, Met.
Hello there.
You. Met is truly the backbone of our beautiful channel here. Without her, none of this would be possible.
This is true. I do not deny it. I will be the first to admit it.
She's the MBV. She's the GOAT. Anyway, so yeah, as I was going to say, is we do have a clip. We have a couple clips that we'll get more into like how it is. I really like this next clip. If I think it's the one it is like it really goes into detail, like animation wise, like what happens and like how it works. So I'm going to get you that, and then we'll talk about it, and then I'll give you some more facts.
Sickle cell anemia is an inherited blood disease that affects your red blood cells. It's one of the most common and usually most severe forms of a group of red blood cell disorders, called sickle cell disease. In order to survive, your body needs red blood cells to supply oxygen to its tissues. Red blood cells are made inside the center of your bones, called bone marrow. There, immature cells, called blood stem cells, can divide to make all types of blood cells, including red blood cells. Normal red blood cells are disc-shaped. Each of them contains protein molecules called hemoglobin that carry oxygen. Round, flexible red blood cells flow easily through your bloodstream and pick up oxygen in your lungs. In tiny air sacs in the lungs, called alveoli, oxygen moves into the blood and attaches to the hemoglobin in red blood cells. Then, the red blood cells deliver oxygen to cells throughout the body. In sickle cell anemia, there is a problem with your hemoglobin that makes your red blood cells sickle-shaped instead of round. This is caused by a defective gene that is passed from both parents to children through genetic material in your cells called DNA. DNA is made up of sections called genes. Two of the genes, called alpha globin and beta globin, contain the blueprints for making the hemoglobin proteins. In sickle cell anemia, the beta globin gene has changed or mutated. This mutation leads to the formation of an abnormal hemoglobin protein called hemoglobin S. Hemoglobin S forms into rigid strands inside your red blood cells, which causes the red blood cell to be sickle-shaped. Sickle cells can block blood flow and can cause pain and tissue damage. And while normal red blood cells last 90 to 120 days, sickle cells only last 10 to 20 days. Your body may not be able to keep up with how fast the cells are destroyed. As a result, your blood has less red blood cells than normal.
Wow.
The only thing I would disagree with that it's saying a defective. I don't think it's necessarily defective. I think it is, but I do think it can harm you, obviously.
I wonder what that does in terms of like, like malaria or something like that. If somehow the sickle cell blocks poison, or I'm wondering what the connection is there.
So I will get that for you. Give me a moment.
Woo.
So having the sickle cell this is interesting. So this is something so having sickle cell anemia provides protection, but having the sickle cell trait, so having the carrier gene apparently does protect, like we were saying. Now, this is information that is given by the SCD, which is sickle cell. I'm guessing that's sickle cell disease, like probably by the by Health Union. So this says that. So it says the places where malaria. This is the quote from them. The places where malaria is most common are also the place that have the highest percentage of people with SCT. It's not by accident. Malaria is so deadly that the body came up with a way to fight it. By changing the genetic code of hemoglobin and causing SCT, the carrier has a better chance of surviving a disease with the high death rate. So sickle cell malaria is a disease that's passed on by obviously mosquitoes, and it causes a lot of awful things happen to your body. And a lot of people die from it. So the body, came up with the mutation,
wow,
which helps protect against against malaria itself. However, if you have sickle cell anemia, apparently it doesn't help it as much. See, a study of children in Kenya between 16 months and 2 years old shows that those with HBSS, which is sickle cell anemia, have the lowest chance of surviving malaria. Okay, so I guess it is a defective. Hey, no more, ever kids with the kids with the sickle cell trait, meaning the ones that are carriers for sickle cell anemia, have the highest chance of survival.
Wow.
So that is really interesting. That it is that you would see people with sickle cell traits have have the highest probability, where people with sickle cell anemia itself is not. So that's kind of probably what I would the misinformation of what it is for me is that I think I confuse sickle cell traits with having sickle cell anemia.
Yeah, so so I guess it's the body's natural defense to fight off malaria in places where malaria is most prevalent, which is very interesting to me. It shows you like human evolution, you know what I mean? That's something that is specific to certain humans that live in certain conditions. But you take that human out of that environment and now works against them. Very interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was a really interesting. We do have another one that goes a little bit. We do have another video that goes a little bit more into it.
All right.
But I think we should look at another. I don't know what the strain is. Do you know what the strain video is?
I don't know what that one is. No.
We'll just go through the continuation of the video that we had and then we'll put strain, because I'm not sure what that one is. So okay.
This condition is called anemia. The symptoms of sickle cell anemia vary from person to person, but may include episodes of pain in your body parts, such as your hands and feet, lower back, chest, and abdomen. a yellow tint in the whites of the eyes and skin called jaundice, and feeling tired due to anemia. Over time, sickle cell anemia can lead to complications such as severe pain and damage to your eyes, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, and joints. Damage to your spleen, an organ that makes immune cells, can increase your risk of infections. The risk for sickle cell anemia is highest among people with ancestors from sub-Saharan Africa, Hispanic areas of South America, the Caribbean and Central America, Saudi Arabia, India, and Mediterranean countries. To find out more about sickle cell anemia, talk to your healthcare provider.
Anyways, so that's yeah, no,
What?
I had that. I think poor Matt, she was under a lot of stress today, so I don't think the clips were. She was
That's
trying
okay.
to get out to
You
us.
can
So,
always shut them off early on your end too.
Yep.
That was great. That showed more of what you were speaking about, how it's very centralized in different areas.
yeah. So I thought that was a good way, and also the symptoms. It talked about the symptoms of it. I thought that was very interesting that you get jaundice of the eyes, which is a yellowing of the eyes and your skin.
Right.
You also have like different areas you feel tired due to the anemia, because people with normal anemia feel that way anyways, because this is a type of anemia that is, so there's different types of anemia, and this is just one of those anemia types.
Right.
So anemia is when you have low iron, you have an iron deficiency in the blood, which causes like oxygen and the flow of your blood to slow down or lessen. You don't get enough. So you're unable to take as much nutrients, so you often can feel tired or weak, and that's regular anemia. Which I did have had a thing that was on anemia, but I mean, it's fine. We're just going into anemia itself.
It was scary in there too, how it showed how many different body parts it can affect. It can affect your liver, your heart, your lungs, your joints, your spleen. It is. I can't imagine the type of pain those people deal with.
Oh, I'm sure it's horrible. One thing I will say, because I do have some anemia, you don't get as much blood circulation or blood flow, so you constantly feel cold all the time. That's another thing. That's just one of the traits of anemia that you can get, and it just has to do with at times when people get the best thing to fight against that is just to make sure you get enough iron in your blood. Supplements. You can also take vitamin B12 or vitamin D, which will help with a lot of those. So that's something. Just make sure that you don't have those deficiencies.
Right.
But that's just for regular anemia. Sickle cell is very different than that.
Exactly.
But I really liked that was just showing like some of the symptoms that you go through when you are experiencing anemia. It's really important to make sure that you are getting the treatments that you need for those cases, because it can be life-threatening.
Right, and it sounds like very quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, thankfully, with this is one where it looks like they would know even before you were born, if you were in your mother's tummy, because they can do blood tests to determine if this is an issue.
Yeah, I think so. I think they can. I mean, we have new information that comes out all the time, especially when it comes to genetic traits. You have ultrasounds. You could take genetic profiling of in the embryonic fluid to see what traits what traits or illnesses may happen. I think that's what was actually important about your clip, the Waka clip, because it was talking about a little bit about that. That's what I got most, is that these are passed down traits, and so if it can give you an idea whether your child is going to have that passed down trait or not. So I thought that was really interesting. We have 3 more clips, and then we most likely be good. So let me get just a little bit more of these.
Unfortunately, with this one, this is not a disease that I think anybody on this panel knows anybody that has. So we're not able to speak on it a lot personally, other than the research that we find. So I have a feeling this episode is going to be very video heavy, very informative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyone who's watching, if you know someone who has sickle cell anemia or has experienced sickle cell anemia, please let us know in the comments. Also, we are not professionals. We're not medical professionals. We just really like looking up medical things.
We're not medical professionals. We're just weird.
We just like to learn. We like to learn about a lot of things. Mezzo also says, you are too kind. No, we're not. We're just realists. We are exactly as we are. But truly.
All right, let's roll another flick.
All right, I'm going to roll this one called Strain. I don't know. I'm not sure what this one is.
Kids and we had a great time.
Do you want to follow me the way you're looking at him?
Hi, my name is...
Ebere Zeji! You have an emergency. Come out. Sister, please come to the courtyard.
For a child to have the sickle cell disease, both parents should have one S gene.
When will all of this be over? When will we get our lives back?
I don't want to lose my son.
All right. So that's a video clip. That was not one that I picked up. That must have been from you.
Yeah, that was one that I did. I forgot the name of it, so I wasn't. But yeah, that was, again, you can see from an African country. This obviously is a topic or something that is very near and dear. I'm sure, being from that area, probably everybody knows somebody that's dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's much easier to deal with. And I'm just saying, like, in places where it's colder, I imagine it's harder to get the treatment that you need because these are colder areas. So, of course, you're going to experience these more.
Well, you know what I found very interesting between watching that clip and then watching the Awaka one, the very first one we saw, what I found very interesting, like the two teenagers, right? They both knew that they were both carriers.
Right.
And then in this clip, they just showed the mother and the father talking to the daughter, to the doctor, and the doctors told them that they were both carriers. So I'm thinking that it's something that, like, is such a huge problem where they are that as soon as you're born, probably everybody is tested for it. So you grow up knowing, I am a carrier or I'm not a carrier.
Yeah, and again, like, this is something that's, like, I think it's more awareness is being spread about it. Because when I was in school and we talked about this, because I think I did a paper on this at one point, and this was like middle school or high school. Oh, interesting. So Met says my dad's wife has sickle cell. Does she have a sickle cell trait or does she have sickle cell anemia?
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing to know. And
her Mezzo's husband's or Mezzo's dad's wife, I want to say they're in Jamaica, I believe. Aren't they? Is that where her father is? Caribbean or something. I know they're not, like here in the States or something like that.
Yeah, which is another place that's very warm. It's more humid. There's a lot more prevalence of mosquitoes there. So I can only imagine. Again, this is not on the. This is originally Cayman Islands. She says Cayman Islands. Again, this is originally made as a genetic mutation to fight against malaria. So let's be very clear. This was originally as a mutation, but if you have these get too mutated, I guess bad things can happen. It's not always like positive mutations, obviously. but yeah, this is I think just one of those things, like, you have the traits, which is really good because it helps combat these things, and then you could get the anemia. The anemia gets involved, and then things go awry, I think. But yeah, if you have any other insights on that, Mets, please let us know. I am going to play, because we have said two more. Another one is a video, and then another one is the changes in care that they have, that we've been,
Excellent.
all the new care. So I think I'm going to play another clip. I had another clip too that just unfortunately did not get in. It had Liam Neeson in it. And it was
Oh,
really cool.
wow.
But we just didn't get that in there. So it's all good. It's fine. I had so many that just did not get in. Just so really cool. All right, I'm gonna do another media one to show portrayal in the media of it. It's another one that's from across the seas. So I think it's really interesting. I really like videos that come from these areas because they give us a whole new perspective on how.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting. I never met her actually. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sure she's. I have nothing to say. I'm so sorry you haven't got to meet her. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep going.
Roll the film.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll this film anyway. So yeah, I really love seeing these places that have films in these areas because they will know so much more than we do about the subject that we're talking about because they deal with it all the time. Here we go.
And what is it?
Lara is sick again.
Lara is sick? Wait.
Lara, look at me. Uncle Mide is here. You'll be fine.
No, Uncle M. I'm not going to be fine.
Baby. Drink up.
Drink up. No! I'm going to die today. I'm going to die.
No. You're not dying today.
I'm going to die today.
What's wrong with her? What's wrong with her now? She's living with sickle cell disease.
Yes! Thanks to you and Dad. I hate you. I hate you for giving birth to me. I hate you all.
You can hate me later. But drink up. Then we go get you your medication.
Wait, where is her medication?
Finished.
Why?
When was the last time you helped with the medication?
You could have called me.
You know her condition too well for me to ask you for help.
This pain is killing me. Mommy, let me die. Stop. Let me die. Let me go and meet Dad where he is so I can give him a piece of my mind.
I love you, baby.
Mommy,
and I'm sorry.
Tell this pain to go away or let me die. Let me die. I didn't plan for this. This is not my choice. You did this to me. I hate you all. I hate you.
Sorry, that was just a little bit of that clip. So yeah,
A lot more time.
It is pretty horrible to watch.
Yeah, that poor, and I can't even imagine as a parent. I mean, any type of sickness that your child gets, you're going to feel bad about, especially if there's nothing you can do about it. But when there's one that, I mean, it could have been preventable because you and your husband, got together. I mean, I can't even imagine what that mother must be feeling when, especially when the daughter says this is your fault, because it kind of is her fault.
So trigger warning, that is a short. It's called the Warrior Hearts, the Warrior's Heart. It's pretty interesting. I think that was a really good, just to show like how it affects someone, how they can feel, and it is so sad. Like when they have these episodes, that's why the blood transfusions are so important.
Right.
And like the way that we change the landscape of care. We have one more video, and this is about the changes of care that we've got, that we do have, like, because we're learning new things about it all the time and helping. I think hopefully we'll get like genetic treatments and stuff. We'll probably talk about that sometime in the future, I think, right, Ark? Talking about genetic
Well,
treatment.
the
How they're learning all
CRISPR.
those. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to. I would love to talk about that. In
Yeah,
fact,
that's why
that was one of the
I'm
videos when they were talking about sickle cell anemia. One of the videos or one of the movies was about using a CRISPR machine to help with this, but I didn't get a chance to get that one. It didn't have anything directly that we could use here. At any rate, go ahead and roll that last little clip.
all right. I'm just saying that Metz is just saying like how her heart breaks for her and how sad it is, and
It's extremely sad.
it is. This is extremely sad when, especially with like, yeah,
And with
it
children.
with children especially, it's just horrible. So yeah, we're gonna roll through this, change the clips. A lot of this is set up for so we can get into genetic genetics as a whole and into like CRISPRs and all that. So
Right.
I had a plan. There was a plan.
Sickle cell is a chronic, lifelong disease where you have a lot of complications. You can have lots of admissions, and unfortunately, chronic pain is the most prevalent in that disease.
This is a condition that affects mostly ethnic minority patients. You don't look like you feel, and so you must not be feeling like you're feeling.
I do live with sickle cell, and at the time when I was born, they really didn't know a lot about sickle cell. So I did spend a lot of time in and out of hospitals, being stuck with a lot of needles and a lot of pain.
Until 30, 40 years ago, most individuals didn't make it out of childhood with sickle cell disease. Now we have almost all live into adulthood.
In 2014, Atrium Health decided that the sickle cell population needed attention. The goal was to build networks and build collaborations and really build on what was existing in the system and then make it better.
They have a multidisciplinary approach, and that means that they have great physicians here who are really interested in sickle cell disease. We have a full nursing team, we have a therapist, we have a social worker, and you have all those people to tackle not only the physical but the emotional side of living with a chronic illness.
When Dewan was 6 months old, he was affected by sickle cell. When he turned about 9 years old, he had a stroke, and so we started blood transfusions.
Transfusion therapy is something that really can make a significant difference in people's lives.
But with the blood transfusions, you can have an iron overload, and that's what happened to Dewan. His iron got really high. So we switched over to exchange transfusions.
The patient's blood comes onto the machine, the sickled cells are removed, and then normal cells from donors are put into the machine. It's all combined again, and then that blood goes back into the patient.
It worked to help not add any more iron, but he doesn't have to take medicine anymore. It really is like a lifesaver.
Really like that. A positive uptake of the
That poor kid had a stroke at 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I can't even imagine being a parent in that position and having a child that young, because at that young, if your child falls down or something happens, the last thing you're going to think about is a stroke. That's an old people disease. You don't associate that with a 9-year-old child.
Yeah. But at least it's positive that they are coming up with new ways to fight this, that people are surviving it, that they are thriving, and that it is something that slowly we are learning how to battle, which is good. But as with everything else we see on here, keeping a good healthy lifestyle, eating well, sleeping well, and exercising, does help keep these things.
And no smoking.
And no smoking. Not smoking. Yes. Absolutely. So yeah, that's where we are. That's where we're gonna probably end. We're gonna end this here.
Yep. I think that's a good place to.
Yeah, it's a good place to wrap up. So starting next week, by the way, Robin will not be here. He is starting a
for absolutely I'll be back. But at more away and they a little bit for a more. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
You'll be back. We'll be back. We'll all
Yeah,
be back.
he'll be back. We'll all be back.
No, we'll.
Yeah, he has it's a walking club and it's with the Special Olympics. So just as a translation, he's doing so
Nice.
it's with the Special Olympics, which is amazing. I think that's fantastic, Robin.
Well, if you have a competition, Boy Wonder, let us know and we'll have to come support you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
and then obviously, Aubrey, when your show comes out, we'll make a road trip and get the gang together.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I have to get going here in a minute for that. So, in any case,
I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us this week and every week. Jacob, thank you for chiming in. I love seeing you, bro. I wish I could. I hope to see you again very soon. I want to remind you that this show is brought to you by Kyber Cave, kybercave.com, kcpmerch.com, and youtube.com/Kyber Cave Productions. If you have any saber needs whatsoever, we have all your battle sabers taken care of here. In fact, while we were doing the show, poor Mr. Steven has been inventorying like 700 lightsabers that just came in today. So we have not literally 700. There's probably about 100 maybe there. But the man's been working hard. So we have all your needs, your combat saber needs at kcpmerch.com. If you want to get yourself, of course, I don't have anything around me, cool Kyber Cave backpack or shirts. We have all kinds of things, phone case holders, blankets, all kinds of fun stuff. And I was told, Miss Aubrey, we will have the new order stuff on the available for purchase as well.
I'm sure with the next couple of weeks, I'm sure about that.
Yeah, I'm hoping we have a blanket available. I want a new order blanket.
Oh, that would be cool.
What else?
What else? You got to go to kcpmerch.com to see what else we got on there. I don't even know what we have on there all the time.
I know that always changes. Anyway, so check us out. We are here. We do have some gaming for you. We have a little bit of everything. We're slowly restructuring some of that, I think, to make it so there's a lot more of a overall thing. But we've
got a big exciting year planned.
Yeah, we got an exciting year set up planned for you all. So we're just we're getting all that worked up. But anyway, so yeah,
do not forget also that we still give away free saber every 100 subscribers to our channel. We're roughly 32 people away from the next giveaway. So please share this channel. If you happen to have 2 YouTube accounts, you have 2 phones or something, subscribe on both of them. It gets us to the next number faster. And it also gives you 2 opportunities at the saber as opposed to just 1. So always a good thing.
So we have gaming. I don't think we have gaming tomorrow at the moment, but we do have gaming Thursday nights, most weeks. And then we do have Friday night gaming with the Beards.
Yeah.
That's ending. Right. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Please go check them out. Saturday morning we have that, and then we have Saber Rattle on Sundays. Sorry. That was a lot.
With you as the special guest. So if you would like to learn more about Miss Captain Aubrey, if there's always questions you've always wanted to know about her, this is your time to ask. So Sunday night, you can ask your live questions. You can find out about the new game. You can find out about, some of the movies and productions and other things she has going in her personal life and ask all the questions you want.
Yep. You ask the question, I'll give the answers if I can. As long as I don't have any thing that's like NDA, undercover. Anyways, that is all we got time for today. Next week, I believe we are going to do another. We do a plan for another genetic blood disease. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
On the stream. I already have videos already planned. I already put a bunch of videos for that.
Wow.
Anyway,
well, just put the name put the name of it on the board so I can do my research.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. That is it.
You guys
for this
have
week.
a wonderful night.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We love doing this with you every single week, and we will see you next Tuesday at 5. Except for Robin.
Right.